Hey guys, Dave here, and welcome back to another ad-free episode of FFBE War of the Visions. In today's episode, I'm going to be going over the Salty Rage, what it does, and what versions of it are best, and whether or not you should make it. It's been a while since I've done a video like this, but I plan to make more in the future. So this will be coming with the upcoming Final Fantasy Tactics event, which will likely start this Wednesday. So without further ado, let's jump right in, take a look how we can acquire it, what it takes to craft it, and what the stats are, and then whether you should make it or not. Okay, so this item, it's going to come from the Final Fantasy Tactics Part 2 event. I believe there is a solo farming event, but you can also use the points from the shop, Mog Shop that is, the tokens that you get from doing like the kind of like the story, I think there's like 5 ranks, blah, 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 blah. You know, the typical Mog token event thing, and you can get up to 100 recipes in the shop there. It's been a while since it came out on JP. That's when I started my account on JP, actually right before when the Mathematician came out. So I can't remember 100%. But you should be able to at least get 100 recipes, hopefully enough to make 2 +5s. But here are the items up on the screen, the sap, water crystals, and bomb ash. Water crystals kind of like a new thing, but everything else you should have been able to save up ahead of time. But if not, don't worry, because you will be able to collect it at this time. Okay, so Salty Rage. Yes. Awesome. Alright, so the vital version is complete garbage. Complete garbage. Complete garbage. Okay, it has like 40 hit points more than the others and like 3 spirit and defense. Even with the 3 armor bonus thing that you get later on JP, where it'll take part of that, you might get like 10 or 20 extra hit points. Whoop-de-doo! And you lose all of that defensive capability. So, garbage! Alright, so shield or barrier, they're the way to go. By getting up to 5 stars, you're going to get 20% blind resistance. Now, at this point in the game, maybe there's not such a big point in getting that, but you definitely want to try to at least make one of these. +5, I'd say mostly like a PvP item. Maybe it'll help a little bit in PvE. Let's say you're putting on an evasion tank, like Vanera, for example. But other than that, I don't really see too much of a point of making a +5. However, I would definitely want to pick up at least 5 copies of this, if not 10. And the reason why is if there's events in the future and you're attacking with your units and they're being blinded and whatnot, you're going to want to avoid being blinded so you can do damage, especially for example in a future box event where you have to chain. In a raid, if you're leveling it up single player, it could be useful then, or let's say like a floor on the tower that has a boss or some new type of event. It'll be good to have all of those. So, I would say you'd want at least 5 5-star versions of this, but the +8 evasion, to me, really isn't that great of a bonus on that. Now, if you're going an evasion build, right now, it only takes your highest stat, so it would be pretty much 100% useless currently. However, when you get the 3-item change in that's currently on JP, you might get like 20% of the last thing. However, that's still only like 2, maybe 3. Whoop-de-doo, right? That's why I say maybe the only use for that is PvP. So like if a unit like, I think Frederica has like blind shot or something like that, if she casts a blind shot on your unit, and you have that, that'll be great. So in addition to the 20% blind resistance, you could also have that 8 evasion and have a chance at dodging the attack. So in my opinion, I think the +8 is mostly going to be for PvP. And again, I would have 5 to 10 of these available, both spirit and defense. They're both viable, very viable. And I didn't mention it yet, but this is an accessory, so every unit can equip it. So it's really great. I love to put it on my caster units. I only have one on JP because I had just started. I only had one recipe, unfortunately, but luckily I got a shield, and I just took it up to 5 stars and maxed out the defense and spirit. So it's a great accessory. I use it on like my mathematician or Ayaka when I'm doing tower farming, etc. And it's very, very useful. So even if you're not using the blind resistance, guys, the defense and spirit on this are going to be really useful for you. So if you don't have, like a smart coat, if you don't have the platinum robes or something like that, this is a high defense item if you go the defense route with shield that even your like caster units can use. So it's very, very powerful just for the stats alone. Forget about the blind resistance, but we don't know what's coming in the future, so you want to pick some of this up. Now, before I kind of like poo-pooed the Alexandrite ring, but in fact there are cases where it would be useful. So I mean, I've farmed all the recipes for it, but unfortunately I'm short on crafting materials and whatnot. So I would at least pick it up. If you're going to make one for PvP, great. Make a +5, but then maybe just make a couple +0s and just put them off to the side. And then if an event comes out that you do end up needing blind resistance on a number of characters, then you can take them up to 5 stars at that point and then use your weapon seals, etc. on them. You wouldn't want to use your weapon seals and resources and books if you're not going to need it, but I would at least get the recipes, craft them, and have them off to the side, or at least have the crafting materials ready off to the side for a future event in case something like that does happen. But both shield and barrier are very useful. You can also use like the barrier version for like Engelbert, like if you want a certain trust on him, or Warrior of Light, and you want a certain armor on them that only boosts physical. Well, hey, it's an accessory, so you could slap that on and you can hit them up with spirit as well. So the fact that it's an accessory and not an armor, it's really, really good. Alright, that's it for today's video. Again, Discord is always open as per the slide. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it can help you get ready for the event a little bit. The Final Fantasy Tactics banner, I know it's a banner a lot of people are looking forward to. 3 good units, however, they're all limited time, which is very unfortunate. I really hope Gumi gets rid of these stupid limited time bullcrap banners. Now, if it's like a non-intellectual right thing, like for example, different game companies' character, I can see why it's limited time, but intellectual property that they own, I think, should not be limited time at all. Especially since this game is based off of Final Fantasy Tactics, so why take the ability to get the characters everybody loves the most away from them and have them regret it and not be able to get all the shards? I think that's just asinine, to be honest. But that's my 2 cents on it. So I hope we see less of the silly limited time units in the future. But that is all for today. I hope to see you guys on another episode of FFBE War of the Visions in the future. Take care.